Hey everybody, this is Tora. Welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be ripping this master case of Azur Lane English set 2. So stay tuned. This is going to be a longer, or I guess it's going to be a long video for me to record, but I just chopped it up to get just the simple hits out of it. So like SRS triple rares and SP hits. So any extra would be great. But yeah, let's get right into the intro. See you in a bit. See ya.
Or help me pick up my cards, idiot.
All right, let's get started, y'all. So yeah, welcome back. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm gonna be opening this this master case of Azur Lane, and I'm editing the video now. But you know, I had some thoughts that I kind of just wanted to spit out and kind of just talk through. So this isn't gonna be a very structured video. I just kind of want to talk through things while I edit this video. So I guess just the concern that I just heard that Azur Lane 2 they did like an entire allocations thing where some distributors didn't get everything that they were asked for, which is a difference from previous sets, mainly just because Weiss Weiss is widely known as like quote unquote print to order, but that wasn't the case this time. It was more allocated for different distributors, I guess, just because Azur Lane 2 is so huge. But I'm not too sure if that's 100% true or if that's actually going to happen, but that's kind of like the widely accepted fact that right now, at least, and this is like a day after the release. So I guess my concern that I want to talk about is just that this entire Wave 1 and Wave 2 system that Weiss is doing for or that they did for Nikkei English and is probably going to do for Azur Lane 2 English. So I guess 5 different concerns that I want to talk about, and each one of them isn't really like a really huge bad thing, but it's just kind of like for me I don't really play the Weiss game at all, so the concerns are mainly more from my side is just more collectability and like the SPs part of it, because like I said, I'm not a player. Second concern is will this create a fear of buying SPs at release? Like based off of Nikkei, the Wave 2 SPs fell around like 20%, it really kind of killed the market. Like for standard SPs, even like a trial deck SPs like that, they took a hit. Like for whatever reason, they just kind of stopped moving. So, but yeah, would this happen if they just like released everything all at once? Like, would Nikkei SPs would they have been going up? Would they have still fallen? Who knows? I think they were going pretty strong at the beginning. They were moving up like at a very slight pace, but they were selling. And then once Wave 2 came around, it just booster boxes on Whatnot and eBay and distros, like they just didn't sell as much as, or I guess they just weren't selling as fast as they were Wave 1. And I'm assuming that's just because anybody that wanted the SPs during Wave 1 had already bought them. So there wasn't that market of people like dying to get an SP, if that makes sense. Or the only thing that stayed kind of the same were the SECs. SECs, they went down a little bit and then they went up to like a normal, or I guess kind of around the same area where they were released at. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been thinking about. Concern too, like is it even worth buying at Wave 1 because they're just going to be so elevated? Like you're basically paying to get the cards, not early, but just earlier than what other people would end up getting at. So who knows? It might just be worth waiting, which has its own consequences as well. Concern number 3, is this gonna kill the new set hype? Will people opt to buy second release instead, second release, since even like Nikkei's fell from the all-time highs to like release prices? Because I remember Nikkei sets, or I guess the Nikkei case, I think it was selling at like 1.4K on TCG Player at some point. But if you don't live off like just straight up TCG Player, and if you just make a little bit of an effort, you can find other websites that will sell it to you for like 1,100. You know, if you go to Card Fight Club, they sell it to at the time they would have sold it to you for $950, free shipping, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's questionable. It's like, well, I mean, you know, they were selling at TCG Player for 1.4K, which, you know, obviously TCG Player is kind of like a standard for English Weiss and setting the market price. So and you know, it went down, and then like the TG, like the Nikkei case market also went down pretty bad. Trial deck display cases also fell a little bit, and yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, you know, is this, you know, will Azur Lane 2 cases also like face the same thing? You know, are they gonna go down to 900? You know, plus tax on eBay in January, February? Who knows? Although the SPs are pretty, like, their hits are pretty big, so I guess it's anybody's guess at this point. But I mean, why would you buy something full price at, you know, TCG Player full price when you can just pre-order it for Wave 2 and get it for, you know, like at a steal, like at 1.15 or whatever you find, you know. Like I said, it just, you know, if you just spend 5 minutes on the internet, you can find them at a better price compared to TCG Player. Like I said, Otaku Vault sells them pretty good price. Card Fight Club does it as well. Hot Hands on Whatnot also sells pretty good, or they sell them at really good prices. You know, there's a handful of other options. If you ride or die by TCG Player. But okay, concern number 4, you know, will this impact Weiss negatively, or will it make it more consumer friendly with SP prices being more friendly, or I guess more acceptable? You know, I guess I'm just not really too sure about this one. I mean, I could see it going well in the end because more people will get to have the SPs, which might drive the demand up. You know, because they're a little bit more affordable and they're more affordable. You know, more people will be willing to buy them, and they're just less scalped. You know, eventually, you know, there's going to be a point where just everybody that has one won't want to sell it, because they just got a really good deal and they love the art. Then, like, you know, then that's how the price should go up naturally, right? I feel like right now, like I said earlier, you know, you're paying. I mean, you're basically paying to get the card or get it at release, when you could just wait like another 3-4 months, whatever, to get the Wave 2 and, like, you know, guarantee you a cheaper price. There's no way that's going to be more expensive by the time Wave 2 comes out, because then there's just going to be more flooding the market, right? But yeah, so I mean, you know, and this concern is just really because, like, you know, there are like 2 types of, like, collectors in the Weiss, right? You know, and card play, like the actual game players, those are like a third. But for collecting SP Weiss, there's really like two areas. You know, people that collect it for, like, investment purposes, that, you know, see like a future value in it, and those that just collect it just because they like the art. And you know, I could see, you know, the investment eyes on it, where, like, yeah, well, you know, why would I buy SP so hard at the beginning of Wave 1 when, you know, Wave 2 will guarantee that they fall a little bit, you know, and now, you know, you may face like a Nikkei conundrum where, like, you know, for perfect example for Nikkei, the Blanc SP, the SIG version, just to, you know, make sure I'm clarifying. So I remember at the release she was like 350 or like 300, something like that. And then during like the summer, you know, she was selling for like 450 pretty reliably. And then, like, slabbed up, you know, you could get a pretty penny for her. And then the Wave 2 came out, and, like, you know, Nikkei hype just kind of, like, started to wither away. And now you can buy a Blanc SP raw for like 350 on eBay. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, in terms of, like, investment wise, like, I could see, like, Weiss investors, like, you know, slowly, like, you know, kind of being scared of, you know, investing into Weiss, which is, you know, some people don't like them, but I think it's they're necessary for the market, just because only a handful of people really are like going after like the really big ticket items of Weiss all the time, like SIRs or like hand autos, AGRs or SECs. Like I would say like people that collect that type of card are more like investors, or like or I guess high-end just straight up collectors do exist, but I would say like they're like a very minority of the market. I think in my opinion most people will buy just regular SPs. But concern number 5, what is limit what is the limit to Weiss, or what is the limit Weiss from, or what is to limit Weiss from reprinting a third wave of Azur Lane to English? If they're willing to go this new route with Nikkei and possibly Azur Lane, then like what's to stop them from like doing 3 waves and like finally really killing English Weiss? Because I'm sure other people also feel the sentiment where like it just feels like they're the game Weiss game makers are purposely trying to ruin English Weiss by giving us SIRs. There's no special art for English Weiss like Chinese Weiss is doing with their ZHSs. They get their own like serialized like CHS rainbow SIGs like for Nikkei. Like I don't know if anybody saw that, but they got some crazy like Nikkei ZHS cards where like they had a crown one which is beautiful. It was a rainbow SIG with the VA on it. And like it was like the exclusivity of it like draws people to it, right? And so with English Weiss just kind of like being content with just giving you like the bare minimum of an SIR, which is less like a rainbow print of the real hand auto AGR from Japanese Weiss. I would say that doesn't like bode well with most people, just because it feels kind of like a cop-out, right? They're kind of like, okay, well, let's give this to Japan, and then we'll the second child English Weiss, we'll give them something, but we'll just kind of give them whatever, right? That's my point about them trying to kill Weiss, right? Maybe are they gonna do a wave 3 for English Weiss that will like essentially just kill the market? These are like the dark ages of Weiss. Who knows? I mean, it could make things more affordable, because I mean booster boxes a lot of the times nowadays aren't worth it. Like Ave Mujica. I mean, there's no way you're getting your full value, your card value off of like one case. Stuff like that is kind of what I'm going to referring to. But I'm referring to like I guess for popular sets, are they going to like nuke the market by just overprinting it? Those are really the 5 main concerns that I thought about while editing this video. Sorry if they're kind of scrambled. I'm still working on just giving you like the raw hits of it, because it was a master case and it took forever to film. I'm not a good editor at all, and I'm kind of impatient with editing, so this isn't fun to me. So I was just thinking, and this is the stuff that came up. But if anybody has any thoughts, I mean, like, post them, send me a DM, message me on Discord or on Instagram. I love conversation like these. I think they're fun to have, and it's nice to see everyone's input and seeing like what type of collector they are. I've met a lot of people that are like I said, investment collectors. A lot of people that are just like collectors of like SPs. A lot of people that are collectors of like a certain character. There's everybody. They're like, I think Weiss is a very broad range community because there's so many different types of anime sets for different types of people, and they're it's fun to see. But yeah, that's it for me, everybody. Like I said, if you have a question or like want to message me, feel free to do so. But I'll catch you in the next one. My next video is going to be ripping HoloLive OCG set 2. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. But yep, that's it from Tora. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.